Hi, I'm Queen Sylvie of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim, and welcome to another episode of Tim's Tid Bits. And I got with me tonight Big Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Just fine. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing terrific. Survived the solar eclipse. It didn't blind me, so even and all that traffic jams, everything else. I'm just glad that stuff's over. That's all I can say.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
They made a lot of money on it, though.
Oh, they made a ton of cash on that. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Everything is economically driven in this world, and that's just the way it goes. Hey, listen, man, speaking of economically driven and some of the stuff that goes on, recently on the news, our acting secretary, Julie Sue, was addressing the bridge collapse in Baltimore, right? They lost, 6 victims, I guess, total on
Julie
that.
Sue?
Julie Sue. Julie Sue is, she happens to be our job and employment person at the White House.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
she's the acting labor secretary.
Okay.
But anyhow, she had a little response to what people are saying about immigration in the United States. And as we know, this whole United States was built on immigration, whether they wanted to immigrate here or not, right?
Well, yeah.
So
right.
anyhow, hey, let's take
Some people didn't immigrate.
a lot of people just got
Walked over.
they walked over.
Find that cotton.
They're in low tide. Hey, let's get into what Julie had to say for a second, Michael, and then I'd like to get your response to it also. How about that?
Acting Labor Secretary Julie Sue is back with us at the table.
Secretary, I want to draw your attention to an open letter from Latino civil rights and advocacy organizations about what we have seen transpire in Baltimore. Quote, while some extremists may want to use the Latino community as a political wedge that depicts all Latinos as a burden and criminal element, the tragedy reminds us all of the reality of our community's role and daily sacrifice to keep our nation strong. These men worked in the 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. window atop a perilously high bridge to ensure thousands of people are able to get to work each day. Often unseen and ignored, their contribution benefited thousands even as they were overlooked. This is how it often is everywhere around us. I am struck by the fact that if you look at your jobs report number, immigration actually provided a boon to those numbers. Not often, Secretary, how we see immigration spoken about in this country.
Madam Secretary, we referenced before we went to break polling that showed that 51% on the question of who does a better job who will do a better job on the economy, some 30%, 32% say Joe Biden, 51% say Donald Trump. And Republicans are now raising up the question, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? So let's look at 4 years ago where we were on jobs 4 years ago. In March of 2020, 701,000 jobs were lost under the Trump administration. March of 2024, 303,000 jobs were added. That's a million jobs swing to the betterment of the American people.
Well, yeah. And a lot of it is immigrants filling those job positions that other people don't want.
That's right. What about your vegetables and fruit, nuts, your meats? A lot of that stuff's immigrants. Your wine, your juices.
But isn't that interesting? Yeah, and it's that migrant labor, and I see it all over the place. You don't see it as much up north as you do really in down south. Is a lot of migrant labor doing just the jobs that we don't want. They're going to take the leftovers. They're going to get her done.
That's right.
And and then what's this one guy, Ramaswamy, whatever his name is, that wants to deport all the immigrants. And I'm like, I would love to see how he's going to pull that one off. You're going to have like the deport police coming at your door, and
it's a lot of stuff that they say is nonsensical. It's not even practical, but people buy into the fantasies.
No, there's no way
he's going to do this. He's going to do that. They buy into it. So what do you do with people like that? But pray for them and hopefully educate them.
Can you imagine the cost of trying to do something like that? Trying to track down these illegals who they probably don't even know where all of them really are, right?
Well, say they track down a person that's not illegal, they say is illegal. You look like an illegal, so whose rights do you trample on? You got a lot of illegals that look like you.
Right. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to be.
You
don't necessarily have a non
Latinos, but you got a few look like you.
You're 100% correct.
But if you see a crowd, say 50 people, you got 50 brown people and one like you, they're gonna pick one of them brown people.
You think?
They're gonna pick one of them. They ain't gonna pick you. Say no, we don't.
No, he looks like he should be. He looks like an American.
Yeah, he's an American. He look American.
But you know what's? Yeah.
He look American. Not that you are American. You look American.
And part of the BS that I don't like them running down, which we know is BS, is they're talking about all these people who are flooding the border. That it's a whole mess. And the Democrats are letting them in so that they can swing the vote. They can't vote. So that's the other thing. It's like, why do you perpetuate that lie about immigrants? They're rapists, they're killers, they're drug pushers, they human traffic, and they're just here to vote for Democrats.
What they're scared of is dark people running the country. That's basically what it is. Why do you think they prevent people from having abortion? White women get pregnant more than any other woman in this country.
We're going to get into that towards the end of the show.
But they have more abortions too.
Because towards the end of the show here, we're going to get into that because Ohio has a House bill pending, and we'll talk about that in just a minute.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that one guy perpetuated the question: are we better off? Here's a little video that asks, "Are we really better off, Mike?" I mean, I don't know.
People keep asking if we were better off than we were 4 years ago. Of course we are. A booming economy, more jobs, higher pay for the middle class, respected in the world again. Stability, sanity, kindness, respect. And most of all, decency in the Oval Office again. America is working and working together. The problems we still face at home and abroad aren't from this White House. They come from a desperate, unstable man and the followers who give him power. The same man who endangered America's health.
I think it's under control. I'll tell you what.
How? 1,000 Americans are dying a day.
They are dying. It is what it is.
Wrecked our economy and tried to overthrow our democracy. Were we better off 4 years ago? That's the wrong question. The question is, what do we want the next 4 years to be?
Ooh, good commercial. Is that a good commercial? That just hit the nail on the head, didn't it?
Makes me want to vote twice.
Yeah, well, hey, I've talked many times on the show, Mike, and you may agree. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Biden, but, wow. I can't let that guy get back in office. Yeah, I'll vote 1,000,000 times if I have to.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. It should be different.
But you wonder how quickly people forget. We know, yeah, a lot of people died, and it was because of a pandemic, and then there was so much resistance, to get people vaccinated so that you could control the pandemic. Part of it starting right up at the top, and
he gave vaccines to red states first. That was Jared Kushner's idea. Said, well, forget the blue states. We'll get the stuff to Florida where they won't use it. Instead of give it to a blue state. Now, how's that leadership?
I didn't know they pulled that. That was a Jared Kushner move.
Yeah. $1 billion, $2 billion. Jared. He went to Jared.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a White House advisor of some such.
He's a special Middle East specialist. He was supposed to be bringing peace to the Middle East. He got about 2 billion pieces. He got a whole lot of peace, big piece, big chunk.
He is. We're gonna talk about that. It's funny that you're talking about this stuff because we're gonna get into it. But it's amazing because it's all coming down, and we're going to be finding out real soon, are we going to have a huge, big change at the end, and some people already have an agenda already built up, and that would be like what the past president wants to do when he gets back in.
They're sending prisoners, murderers, drug dealers, mental patients, and terrorists, the worst they have in every country, all over the world. The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals.
Trump and his allies are also threatening to carry out mass deportations, use migrant detention camps, and potentially bring back the zero-tolerance policy that put children in cages. This week, Trump attended a gala for the director of the Family Separation Program and hasn't ruled out reinstating it. And while Trump's attacks on asylum seekers are certainly racist, there's so much more. Have you heard about his plans to uplift only white people? Axios reports that Trump wants the Justice Department to roll back protections for people of color to focus on discrimination against whites. Trump's allies have already been testing this anti-DEI framework in court and managed to block billions in pandemic relief for women and minority-owned businesses. Now, there's one mastermind behind all these cruelty is the point policies, and his name isn't Donald Trump. Meet Stephen Miller, the former Trump White House advisor and far-right extremist plotting Trump's nightmarish second term. Jelani, Miller's law firm released this ad in October 2022. Listen to this.
When did racism against white people become okay? Progressive corporations, airlines, universities all openly discriminate against white Americans. Racism is always wrong. The left's anti-white bigotry must stop. We are all entitled to equal treatment under law.
Well, I know you got something to say about that, Steve Miller and his.
You want to be, what is it, Goebbels or whatever his name is? He looked like one of them boys, Hitlerites.
Doesn't he look like one of those guys? Yeah, she'd be Gestapo.
Yeah.
Gestapo police. I mean, wow.
That's what he want to be.
See, that's the same thing that they tried to pull, though. If you think about that fear-mongering that they're perpetuating, kind of like, the great takeover theory where, Whitey ain't going to have a chance anymore because it's all going to be black and Chicago's running.
Yeah, you know how many you outnumber us back?
That's the whole thing. And it's all fear-mongering.
Kill every white man in America.
Same thing Hitler did, same thing Stalin did, same thing Lenin did.
Huh?
I said same thing Stalin did and Hitler did. It's all, fear-mongering tactics to make people, believe something that's not real.
Well, all those people that stormed the Capitol ain't all the people that believe in this guy, A lot of people can afford to trip. Some people, that was their last money. Go storm the Capitol. Go see Donald Trump.
And don't expect him to help finance your lawyer fees. He's busy selling Bibles trying to finance his own.
You got that right. Selling Bibles and anything else you want. You got to sell.
I mean,
Tid Bits. He got himself as a superhero, military hero. Mr. Captain Bone Spurs.
that that's almost blasphemous, you know, to sit there
Tell me about it.
and you know, to sell Bibles to promote your presidency and to help pay for your legal bills because of what you've done.
Well, he's accused of rape. People still love him.
People still love him.
Evangelists,
People
they
still
can't
love
get
him.
enough of him.
That's because he
He's
is
accused
so.
of rape. What else is he accused of? I'm sure he's raped more women.
I'm sure there's a whole lot of hush money out there. Who knows?
Daddy's deep pockets. You don't have a 5th grade education. I don't think you can find the state of Michigan on a map of the U.S. So, you know, he's just not all there.
No, he's not.
I couldn't see him. I could see him being the U.S. leader because we got a lot of dumb people here. They're not necessarily dumb on purpose. They're just dumb because they're dumb.
Because they believe what's fed to them, right?
You know?
You're right.
They're looking for a leader.
And
like
even
trained dogs, you know, they're looking for a leader. And that's all they, you know.
I sure hope it's not Donald. Hey, well, somebody hopefully will come along and get us out of this damn mess. But, you know, and it's interesting when you look at the different perspectives. You heard that perspective on the economy. Golly, we've got, you know, new job growth. The economy's looking better, so on and so forth. But then, you know, you could always turn to Fox News, right? And get yourself get totally depressed with their take on what's happened with our economy. Check it out.
Whatever your interpretation of the March jobs report, the fact is the Federal Reserve is not going to cut its interest rate target this year. Not going to do it, folks. Inflation is inching up, not down. Commodity prices booming, including world oil prices. Gold has exploded higher. The official price indexes themselves have been moving north, not south, nor is the Fed going to move its 2% inflation target. Grocery prices have increased more than 50% since 2019, according to the Wall Street Journal. A typical basket of groceries, about $100 worth about 5 years ago, would require about $140 today. And while the underlying strength of the economy is up for debate, it has not fallen into recession. And whatever you think of the validity of the jobs numbers, the fact remains the rate of unemployment is 3.8%. That is not a recessionary indicator. And if the Fed were dumb enough to ignore the actual data and went ahead and started cutting rates, it would be viewed as a political attempt to juice the economy in order to reelect Joe Biden. Biden has already told the Fed to cut rates, as have the usual far-left senators like Sherrod Brown, Liz Warren, and Bernie Sanders. In other words, round up the usual suspects. But Donald Trump and every Republican official would just pound the Fed into the ground if they tried to pull a foolhardy stunt like an election year easing, while inflation continues hot and the economy is resilient. And the Republicans would be correct to pound Jay Powell into sand and the Fed for that kind of election year shenanigan.
Right. So there again, nothing gets done to help us out, Mike. Not a damn thing, because it all goes down to politics. Just like, why didn't they do anything with the border when they had a couple billion to throw that? All comes down to politics. No, we're not going to do it because we want to be able to piss and moan about that when we're up there, you know, with our candidates, right? Same thing.
Well,
you know, why fix the goddamn economy when I can stand up there and bitch about it and blame it all on Mike?
Well, you can blame it all on Mike. Mike got to ride on the same road you ride on. So you blame it all on Mike all you want. But if you don't pitch in, Mike ain't going to fix it.
Isn't that how they play it, though, isn't it? That's how they play it.
Yeah, that's how they play it, but I can't do it alone.
Amen.
That's just
Amen.
the way it goes, you know.
Amen. Hang tight just a second. I'm going to have Sylvie do something for us.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like we're an economic disaster. But I think this guy's the best president since LBJ, and I wasn't able to vote then. But he's done a lot for this country, you know, as far as infrastructure, the bridge in Baltimore.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, infrastructure. Yeah, he's doing a super job. I mean, I wish we could do a lot more. You know, especially with high-speed rail systems and things like that. Would be nice. But I see, even when it comes to that, I seen the other day on the news that they appropriated money to the National Forest Service to these urban cities that have like wiped out, different complexes, and they just have all this open space. So now the Forest Service is donating trees so that people can start growing trees and help with, warming and things like that. And it's like, so there are positive things being done, and a lot of people just don't necessarily see them because there's so much other crap, being, pushed into your face.
Yeah.
That sometimes you don't see the little things that are being done that's seriously benefiting us.
Yeah, a lot of little things add up, Like a lot of little ants don't take them long to knock off a bird, a dead bird. Yeah.
Amazing.
It adds up.
Yes, it does.
Adds up.
Yeah, I'm not all that. I mean, hey, I wish I could stretch my dollar a little bit more. Yeah, my dollar sucks when it comes to going to the grocery stores, but then a lot of that has to do with, I think we are still, in a way, trying to re-establish employment to its capacity for proper production ever since the pandemic. Everything has just been slowed down, has been stalemated, and you haven't had enough people to handle the particular job site, whatever the case may be.
I don't know. A lot of that too is due to shrinkflation.
Yeah, still
candy
trying
bars,
to make the profit.
$1 and some change. They're half as big as they were 10 years ago.
Same size package though.
That's right.
Packaging hasn't changed, but so what are you complaining about? You're still getting that same 50-cent candy bar packaging, even though you're paying $1.25 for it.
Yeah.
And maybe the candy bar's half the size.
Yeah, you can hear it shake, rattle, and roll.
Everybody always got to complain, don't they?
It's crazy.
Speaking of prices going up, you don't happen to have an OnStar, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. You're not going to believe this nightmare. We'll just call it, is your car spying on you?
I had it.
Yeah, Linda, Tanika Clay requested her LexisNexis consumer file. This is it. More than 200 pages, most of it from General Motors, data about her driving from the onboard computer in her car. So this is it.
This is it.
Hundreds of pages.
Hundreds of pages. This is my LexisNexis consumer disclosure report. I'm appalled.
Hundreds of pages of data on Tamika Clay's LexisNexis credit report from her Chevy Camaro.
Connecting to OnStar.
She's learned the OnStar system is tracking things like acceleration events, high-speed events, and hard brake events. And GM shared 603 of those entries with data brokers.
OnStar app, you're thinking safety and if it gets stolen, but certainly not spying on me and sending information to the insurance companies.
It's the exact same scenario described in this proposed class action lawsuit filed just one day after Clay received her LexisNexis report this month. Clay requested the report because her insurance had gone up 80%, and when she tried to shop around, an insurance broker sent a denial letter and suggested she check her LexisNexis records to see why. Now, we also reached out to LexisNexis, who tells us in a statement, quote, telematics-based insurance programs can be extremely valuable in helping consumers improve their driving and lower risk. We utilize various channels for consumers to request a copy of their LexisNexis consumer disclosure report and to dispute any data on that report that the consumer feels is inaccurate. And it's not just GM sharing data. In fact, LexisNexis in a 2020 press release said that more than 10 million cars they're getting data from, and they have contracts with 5 of the 10 top insurance companies. Again, you can request a copy of your LexisNexis consumer report free of charge and see if your data is being collected.
Is your data being collected?
Everywhere.
Is that
everywhere? All you have to do is think of something, and it pop up on your phone as an advertisement. It will.
It's amazing how those apps get, you're like a biorhythm type thing, Mike likes looking at, older Chevys, And so now that's all you're going to say is a bunch of, parts and pieces or advertisements for or for sale. Or
Right.
it's amazing to me, how they do that. And
Hey, they know more about you than you.
obviously to direct advertisers your way, and or in this case, to adjust your insurance rates not in your good. I can't believe our insurance rates went up 80% because of the report that Lexus said that she was speeding here and there, or she had a couple of hard breaks. And then she got denied.
I had that program for maybe a year, and I got rid of it.
Yeah, they got
I
that
dropped it.
OnStar and Lexus, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we get tracked enough, as you said. I mean, your phone tracks you all the time. Look how many times they find these people, that are hiding out, and they just track them off of cell towers. And
January 6 people, they got the phone numbers. Most of them had their cell phones on them.
Isn't that stupid?
Want to call home? Oh, you were here? We got you right here, inside the building.
Yeah, some of these people are at least smart enough to turn their phones off before they go do something stupid like that.
Even if you turn them off, they still know your location. You can't really turn them off. Your location is going to be there.
Yeah, you can't even take the batteries out of them anymore, can you?
I don't know about that, but I know if you don't have that SIM card in there, if you don't have that SIM card in there, you're getting tracked.
I guess that'd probably be the only way. So you thinking the only way you couldn't get tracked to pull that SIM card out?
Probably, but I wouldn't be secure in that either.
Yeah,
you probably got to pay.
Well, hell, I see in our town here, we both being from the 419 area, I see up in Sylvania where they've got these license plate readers mounted around the city now.
Yeah.
So, and they're saying, well, it's not just for, everyday enforcement. It's if somebody's on the hot list, so to speak, we'll get an alert and we'll go, pick that particular individual up because now we know where the hell they're at.
Yeah.
And, and there's cameras every freaking place. I mean, I can't go into a convenience store where there's probably not 50, 60 cameras in the damn store.
Well, even on the streets, they got cameras all on the roads. And then people got personal cameras on their houses outside their homes. So,
but when it adversely affects something like your insurance rates, that's almost intruding on your where it should be personal. I mean, I can't see where they should be. I guess you got to look at the fine print.
And you're paying for that.
I guess there's the rule. That is an invasion of my privacy in my book. But then again, if you signed up for that OnStar service, and it could be right in the
fine print.
Read the right in the fine print that we sell your data to XYZ.
To the highest bidder.
Unbelievable.
They can sell it to whoever else,
Isn't that crazy?
Nope, it's not really. Not really.
Well, hey, everybody's doing it. Obviously, we covered what happens on Facebook, what happens on YouTube, what happens when you just do a Google search. They already know what the hell you want. So
that's right. And you're telling on yourself pretty much. I've been a bad boy. I've been a bad girl. I done sped about 3 times, 3-4 times this month. I've been probably spun out, done some wheelies, whatever.
Yeah, I've been browsing those Chevys, those classic Chevys.
Yeah. And then come down to it. You done all this. You done all that, and we know where you did it. You didn't get caught, but we know where. We know
where you was and when you did it, and that includes your SMS messages.
But if they got that information, who else is getting that information?
Well, there's the other thing of it too.
That's right. They know who you are, know where you are.
A lot of money to be made in selling that personal information about people.
Yeah.
And earlier, I think about 10, 15 minutes ago, you brought up J.K. Kushner. And, I find it ironic, that they're continuously wanting to go after Hunter Biden, and what is it, Burisma, whatever that.
Eats the soup of the day.
And you know, and it goes to the point to where even Marjorie Taylor Greene's like flipping around naked pictures of him in the center, right? It's like, I mean, get off it. Why don't we look at somebody like Jared Kushner? Why would we overlook him when there's something like this going on, Mikey?
There is brand new reporting today that takes us deep inside Jared Kushner's investment firm, which is raising plenty of eyebrows as his father-in-law runs for president again. And his shockingly comfortable mindset with all the ethical questions about political favors and foreign policy that only mount as Kushner's firm grows. The Times has brand new details about the investors and the investees that Kushner befriended years earlier during his time as that unpaid Trump White House advisor. The reporting says that Kushner, in an interview, quote, did not dispute that the Middle East contacts he made while in government became the keys to his post-White House career, end quote. Kushner admitted his firm had been, quote, very selective in whom to invest, having vetted more than 1,400 investment opportunities and then making 10 deals in amounts ranging from $100 million to $500 million with companies in Israel, Dubai, Germany, the U.S., and an Abu Dhabi-backed company in Brazil. The New York Times found Jared Kushner's firm has distributed nearly half of its $3 billion, 99% of which has come from foreign sources, according to the SEC. That is $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, $200 million each from Qatar and the UAE, as well as a previously undisclosed, quote, smaller investment from Terry Gao, the founder of a Taiwan-based company called Foxconn, who Kushner once helped get a $3 billion U.S. government tax credit.
Surprise, surprise. But that's okay, right?
Yeah. If you can, nice work if you can get it. Especially if you don't know what you're doing with it.
You know, this is what gets me, Mike. He's actually an unpaid advisor in the White House. Actually, I think they had him there probably so he could make the connections that he made.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's making millions, and investing billions. And that's with, you know, the United Arabs, with Russia, with all.
Yep.
And these are supposedly our enemies. And he's making investments with them that he met while he was working at the White House. I mean, come on. And you're going to sit there and point a dirty finger at Hunter Biden because he may have been on a phone call and said, hey, you want to hear my dad's voice? That was it, right?
Might have got a couple million.
You want to hear my dad's voice. Wasn't that the whole thing? That was it. That's all they had. You know, that he was, did your dad say hi? Well, yeah. Well, shame on him for saying hi.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's lame, kind of lame. But they had to get something, you know, on the president's family or the president to equate with all the stuff Donald Trump's done.
And look at this. Yeah.
They want to impeach him. They couldn't figure out how to impeach him or what on. So they got his son. Couldn't find nothing on him.
No.
Now they're going after Mayorkas.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Trying to deflect. But then, you know, a lot of them, I mean, why don't you look back in your own yard, you know? That's the whole thing that I don't like about what they're doing. You know, if you want to sit there and point out somebody utilizing that presidential position for their own benefit, Jared hits it.
Why aren't they legislating, you know? So a lot of legislating needs to be done. And they're so busy chasing boogeymen, they can't do nothing for the country. You got the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, Lauren Boeberts running things, and they don't even know the Robert's Rules of Order.
No.
They don't know when to interrupt, when to ask for time. Well, I didn't know that. Well, we gave you the packets when you first came here. You've been here, damn near 4 years?
And still don't know shit.
And still don't know nothing.
Right.
Why is that?
No, it's because it's much easier creating chaos than getting something done.
That's right. Than to learn anything. You learn something, you know something. If you knew something, You'd probably blow your brains out.
You know, if you could keep a Speaker of the House, you know, maybe we could. I mean, you know, so he passes a bill. Now they're talking about wanting to, who knows if they're going to oust him. But that's.
I think he'd be tired of Margaret Taylor Greene by now.
I wish they could just oust her. That whole freedom caucus, Gates.
She's necessary.
You know,
she's necessary.
Yeah, Ramaswamy.
Ted Cruz, he was with the Freedom Caucus too when they first started off.
Yeah, but I think he's kind of made some distance between him and them because I think they're getting a little too radical for him even.
For Ted Cruz?
Ted's an idiot, but I don't think he's all that stupid to really hang too tight with those idiots.
Yeah. He's an idiot, but he's a slick idiot.
Yes, he is. That's the one thing about Ted. Ted's very slick. Yeah, he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. He can even get away with heading down to Mexico on a little vacation, and people forget about it.
And blame it on his daughter.
And blame it on his daughter. She needed
a dog at home.
She needed an escort. You think I'm going to let my daughter hang out in Cancun all by herself?
Right.
No, not going to happen. I better get down there with her.
Drink some pina coladas.
You know. Well, you may as well enjoy the environment.
Might as well. Yeah. Hey, he's doing his job. That's people coming from Mexico. He's going to Mexico.
That's right. He's trying to talk them out of it. That's what it was down there for. He was actually trying to talk people out of coming to America.
Right.
Hey, man, speaking of radical, crazy stuff, in November of last year, here in Ohio, we had a vote on abortion, right? Legalizing.
They wanted that 60-40 thing first.
Legalizing abortion, right?
Right.
But guess what?
What?
There's some people just not happy with the decision that the Ohioans made. Hang on, buddy. And they decided to, why don't we just throw another bill up in the way?
Oh, yeah, Andre. Well, Jeff and Kaylee, House Bill 475 was introduced by Josh Williams. He represents Sylvania. Some pro-choice leaders say this bill goes against what majority of Ohio voters want.
There are a lot of people out there that would not get the abortions that they need if someone didn't step in and pay for it.
That's Kristen Haiti. She's on the board of the Aggie Fund, an organization working to provide abortion access to Northwest Ohio. She's against the new House bill introduced by Representative Josh Williams, saying Ohioans made it clear how they felt in November. But Williams says Ohioans are still split.
Over 45% of Ohio voted no on issue 1. So what you're saying is, you know, for half of Ohio, we're going to force you to pay taxes to support something that you diametrically oppose.
If passed, county and city leaders in Ohio would have to report any money spent for abortion services. That includes things like travel costs and donations to groups that support abortions. That total would be given to the state auditor every month. Then the state would withhold that amount of money to that city or county government.
We're specifically speaking about elective abortions, right? Where a woman makes a choice to end a pregnancy, a healthy pregnancy early before it is brought to term.
Haiti says the Aggie Fund doesn't receive money from Lucas County or Toledo right now, so this won't affect them. But Ohio Planned Parenthood advocates say it would for them in some way. Lauren Blavelt says the organization gets money from several local governments around Ohio, but not to fund abortions.
Planned Parenthood is an important public health organization that is providing necessary health care and education to residents across Ohio. Of course, there are local governments that are supporting that important work, and they should be able to continue.
And if this bill becomes law, Haiti says they won't go down without a fight.
So we'll just roll back funding from any community that supports abortion. And we won't help Planned Parenthood. We won't help this Aggie Fund, people who may be of low income who can't afford an abortion, can't afford a damn child, to tell the truth. That's probably why they want to get an abortion. Probably made a mistake in the first place. And, you know.
Who's going to feed those kids? Once they get here, who's going to feed them?
The government.
Right.
They don't look at that part of it, Mike. They're not looking past their nose. You know, they missed the forest and spite the trees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now, you know, you're always complaining that there's these people welching off of the government. But yet, if you have an individual who says, I can't afford to bring a child into this world, you know, this was a mistake, I need an abortion, and there's a group that's going to help them do that. Just because you have a particular belief, a secular belief against abortion, you know, why should you force that on somebody?
I wouldn't. I couldn't see how anybody would want to, actually.
You know, I'm not an advocate of abortion, you know, but I can see where there's probably times when it's unfortunately necessary.
Some people aren't meant to be parents either, you know. And if you force somebody, say a rape victim, incest victim, you force them to have their abuser's child, how would they view that child? Would they hurt them? Love them?
Yeah, I wonder how they would, because I wonder how that law would spin. Think about this, because let's look at it in the horrible part of incest and a rape. And they're saying, well, I'm sorry, that's a healthy pregnancy. You can't terminate it.
Right. Right.
So, okay, it may not necessarily be, you know, an economically driven decision. It could be because I don't want to even think about every time I see that child, what happened to me.
Right. Right.
So, yeah. Lord only knows, Mike.
If you're a poor woman, what do you do? Where do you go?
I don't know. Hey, I'm going to get to one part of the show that we do real quick, and you're going to like this. We always have an asshole of the week. And, you know, let me ask you, do you like your Mexican foods?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah. You big on guacamole?
If it's done well, yeah.
Okay, well, this guy is a little too concerned about guacamole.
It's on your hip. Police body cam video of a man being arrested after he allegedly shot a restaurant employee because he was angry about guacamole.
The reason that this happened is because of poor decisions, inability to control emotions, and that's what led to the shooting.
It happened Friday night at the Chipotle on Evergreen in Southfield.
This happened right across the street from the police station. So what's the nerve of that? And you think you're going to get away with it?
32-year-old Aaron Michael Brown arrested a short distance away. At a press conference on Monday, a timeline.
The suspect, Mr. Aaron Brown, entered the Chipotle restaurant with his wife. While standing at the register, Mr. Brown asked for extra guacamole on his food that he had just purchased.
Police say he was upset because it wasn't enough guacamole.
Mr. Brown then called the female Chipotle employee a derogatory name of the B word, which upset her understandably.
Fellow employees took her to the back to try to calm her down, leaving the front counter unattended.
Our suspect, Mr. Brown, who previously had paid for his food items, began to proceed to go around the counter and began to bag his own items, and then he took a cup and filled it with guacamole.
A 21-year-old male employee tried to stop him. Physical altercation, and then Brown, a licensed CPL holder with no prior criminal history, allegedly shoots the employee in the leg, then takes his food and calmly walks out.
I was in my car and I saw him just walk out to his car, close the door, and just drive off. Like he didn't speed off or anything. It was weird to see, but it was like you'd think you want to get out of there fast, but it's like he didn't care.
I mean, it was very scary. I don't know.
Brown is being held on a $20,000 cash bond and facing several charges, including assault with intent to do great bodily harm. The victim is expected to make a full recovery.
There we go, guacamole crimes.
Yeah. Yeah, the man serious about that guac.
That was in what, Southfield, Michigan?
Southfield, Michigan.
So something about you Michigan people, you like your guacamole.
Yeah. Well,
avocados.
we're serious about our food.
Serious about our guac.
Hey, don't mess with our chicken wings. Serious about chicken wings.
Chicken wings and guacamole?
Yeah. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
I was just noticing that you were repping the Michigan, so that's all right.
You talking about the champions, national champions?
Who? What?
football, national champ.
We've got ours too.
It's been that long ago, ain't it?
Yeah, it's probably got dust on it.
Yeah, well, we'll refresh your memories.
Oh, man. Anyhow, hey, I wanted to show something real quick. It was kind of interesting. Have you ever seen the Trump commercial that he put on where he was sent from God to?
Yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah, I seen it.
Did you see the response that the I'm trying to think the name of the group is doggone it. Let me look at it. Oh, Faith Forward. So yes. Did you see the Faith Forward's response to his video?
I didn't see his response, the response to it, but I believe he was sent by God.
To what? As the archangel? as the
He's one of them curses.
Could be one of the curses, boils and everything else. Yeah, that could be what it is. And hey, check us out before we get out of here. Check it out.
Yeah.
Today, God made all of us. God said we need leaders who can unite rather than divide, who stand on morals and values, and who don't idolize dictators and bullies. God said I need someone to protect consumers and farmers from corporate greed, workers from wage theft, students from crushing debt, homeowners from discriminatory lending, seniors from overpriced medicine, and loved ones from gun violence. God said I need someone with arms strong enough to protect the planet, strong enough to fight monstrous evils spreading across the globe. God said I need someone willing to give their whole life in service. And so President Biden answered the call. God made us all. Together, we make our democracy strong. Thank God we chose a faithful president who doesn't worship himself, nor undermine the Constitution he swore to uphold. For such a time as this, we pray to God what is true in our hearts. 4 more years.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty.
I hadn't seen that commercial.
Oh yeah, that just came out.
The Donald Trump one.
That just came out the other day because of Trump's commercial where Donald Trump was sent from God to save the world, and it's like, I can't believe he put that out. Because I guess I can believe anything out of the man, but yeah. So this Faith Forward alliance, they're looking at it like you can't sit there and claim yourself to be, a savior to the world. You can't be up there selling Bibles. All this is blasphemous. And, how do you expect us as a secular society to support that kind of blasphemy?
He can do it. He's Trump. He can do anything.
He can do anything. Yeah. Apparently. So, yeah. Right? He can do anything.
He get away with everything too.
Apparently. Well, apparently he's not going to get away with that hush money case in New York. They're making him Monday.
I don't know.
Monday, I think he's supposed to go in and,
I'm not sure.
We'll see what happens.
Sure. He's they're
keeping you on the edge. Keep you on the edge of your seat.
Squeezes out a lot of spots.
Keeping you on the edge of your
a lot
seat.
Of trouble, but
anyhow, hey, I'm ready to get the heck on out of here. I'm done with some talking tonight, and appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Appreciate you co-hosting with me, Michael. Thank you very much. And hey, until next week, we are so out of here. Peace, man.
All right. Take care.
This weekend, Trump went crazy on social media. Sounds about normal, right? But this time, he was targeting the judges overseeing his criminal and civil trials, asking, how many judges do I have to endure before somebody steps in? Somebody steps in? To do what, Donald? To attack the judges? To kill them or their families? He told a violent mob that attacked the Capitol, be there, we'll be wild.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
He told the Proud Boys to stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
He told us these were good people in Charlottesville.
Very fine people on both sides.
Now, he's putting the lives of these judges and their families in danger. He knows that his followers are just waiting for the signal. So when the attack comes, you'll know who ordered it. We've said that Donald Trump is corrupt. We've told you he's an authoritarian. We've said that he's dangerous. But we've never said he doesn't know exactly what he's doing.